Rory McIlroy files for divorce from wife Erica after 7 years of marriage. McIlroy filed for divorce just days before the start of the PGA Championship. Rory McIlroy has filed for divorce after 7 years of marriage, according to court records in Palm Beach County, Florida, a stunning development going into the PGA Championship. McIlroy and his wife, Erica Stoll, had a storybook meeting during the Ryder Cup in 2012, began dating 2 years later and were married in 2017. They have one daughter, Poppy, born in September 2020. Let's watch this video.
For people who are logged on, hello. We will be starting very shortly. We're just trying to add a little moderator situation here for the trolls that we know do not exist on the Workday account. But
absolutely no trolls.
Safety first. Well, we might have to go to a moderator. That's okay. Hi, everybody. Amanda Baliotis here, CBS Sports, joined with Rory McIlroy, of course, an ambassador for Workday. And last week was a big week. It was the first major of the year.
Yeah.
The Masters.
It was.
Big week for you.
Big week for me.
Big week for you.
Yeah.
Also a big week for Workday because they just announced their Rockstar 2.0 campaign. So we figured, why not get you for a little chat before we tee it up here in Hilton Head? And because it's a Rockstar theme, I was thinking about doing a Rockstar themed like rapid fire. What are your thoughts on this?
Would love to, even though my knowledge of rock isn't great, but my dad is a huge rock fan.
All right.
And likes a lot of rock, so I'm ready to give it a go.
What genre of music are you more a fan of?
Hip hop is sort of my go-to.
Okay.
I like a little rock. Like if rock is on, I won't turn it off. So
okay.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, it would be hard to really sell a Rockstar campaign if you're not going to listen to any rock. So you do listen to a little bit of rock.
I do listen to a little bit of rock.
Okay, so that leads me to my very first question. What is your favorite rock song? I gave you some time to think about that.
I would say, so my dad's favorite rock band is the Eagles. Or was the Eagles.
Love that.
So I'm going to say Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Take It Easy. I think that counts, right?
Yeah,
That's
I think so. Rock,
country.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I'm nervous to ask this question, but what was your first rock concert? Have you ever been to a rock concert?
I have been to a rock concert. My first concert was not a rock concert.
What was it?
50 Cent, which is hip-hop.
I love that so much.
And I was 12 years old and probably shouldn't have been listening to music.
I think that's all what we were listening to. With
yeah. My first rock concert was Foo Fighters in Wembley in London.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that was very cool.
Okay.
8,000 people. Yeah,
so when I think about a rock concert, right? It's madness, it's chaos. The musicians are feeding off of the adrenaline. Is there any tournament you can think of that would be similar to that? I think I know the answer, but I'm going to let you say it anyway.
Waste Management Phoenix.
That's the one. That's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, I would say that is the closest thing we have to a rock concert in golf.
What's it like feeding off of those fans? Does it give you maybe the feeling of what a musician feels like entering into a stadium ready to play for thousands, hundreds of thousands sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar. I haven't quite gotten myself into contention in Phoenix before. I think if you're like in contention, I think that's what it would feel like.
Yeah.
Because how I've played around that golf course, people are not really watching the golf too much. But but it's the closest atmosphere that we can play in that would replicate like a rock concert, I think. Unless like Ryder Cup. Ryder Cup could be, for me anyway, like thinking back to Rome last year and having so many people on your side and screaming your name, that is probably pretty close to what a rock star feels.
Do you ever miss an opportunity to talk about the winning Ryder Cup in Rome?
No. Never.
So one of my favorite things about golf is the fact that I feel like every other athlete and musician wants to be a golfer.
Yeah.
And then golfers then in turn usually want to be a musician. Is that true? Like if you could have any talent in the world and you weren't a professional athlete, what would you want to be?
I would love to be able to play an instrument.
Be a rock star, right?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to, because I think there's that, I think as well as an individual athlete, I think there's probably some correlation to being a rock star as well, just in terms of the individual drive and sort of the nomadic lifestyle that you have to live. So, if I wasn't a golfer, I'd probably want to be another sort of athlete. But if I wasn't an athlete, then I'd say a musician would be pretty cool. Yeah.
What musical instrument? You could be great at one musical instrument. What is it?
Guitar.
See, you don't want to be a rock star.
Yeah,
I know you're acting like,
okay.
Yeah. So when I think about, obviously Taylor Swift has changed the game when we talk about, we had to bring up Taylor Swift, right? You have to bring up the Ryder Cup. I have to bring up Taylor Swift. It's the rules. But so much was made about the way she had to condition herself to be out on this tour, right? Like a worldwide tour.
Yeah.
You kind of play your own version of a worldwide tour, right? And I think about even last week to this week, you go from the most anticipated major of the year, the first major of the year, and then you come right into a signature event. It feels like you're going from high pressure to high pressure. How do you handle that, staying on top of your game, and not probably physically, but I think more the mental side of being able to stay at that peak week in and week out?
Yeah, I think for me, the one big thing I've had to learn to do over my career is just reset, right? Like Sunday night is the end of a tournament and it's over and there's nothing you can do about the past week. And then the nice thing about golf is there's always the next week to try to do better.
Yeah.
So like it's always just like a reset or a reframing of, okay, last week went great or it didn't go so well, but that's over and done with.
Yeah.
And you're always, and that's the thing, like you're always living week to week. So you're always thinking ahead. You're never, I think it conditions you to not think about the past and just keep going and keep pushing forward and keep thinking about the next week.
I'd imagine it's similar in a live concert too. Like you forget the lyrics or you mess up. I'm thinking like live TV, you have to just keep it moving, right?
Yeah,
if you sit there and you think about that mistake, it's going to ruin all the other things happening moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about a rock star moment. I feel like you've had so many amazing moments in your career, in your life. You've had the chance to meet insane people, go to and do insane things, experiences. If you had to pinpoint like one rock star moment that you've had, can you do that? You can give us a couple too.
Yeah, I would say like individually for me, getting to world number one for the first time and Tiger Woods finished second to me in the tournament that I got to number one in the world, which was like really cool.
Yeah.
Like childhood idol, fulfilling a lifelong dream, like just all of those things together was huge. So I think individually that would be the rock star moment for me. And then, I think like I went to the White House for a state dinner.
Yeah.
I've played with like a bunch of presidents and it's like, it's surreal because as you said before, like so many musicians would want to be golfers, but then there's so many different walks of life of people that just love the game of golf, and I've been able to meet them and to spend time with them, which is like, never in my wildest dreams that I think that I'd be in the position that I'm in.
Who is someone that you're like, I can't believe you know who I am? Like they just came right up to you, or you got a text from them and it was like, oh wow.
I probably could be like one of the like Barack Obama, like
that's pretty legit.
Being able to play golf with someone like that and being like, oh, he like follows me and like knows, like he was talking to me about, I watched last week and like this. I'm like, really? Like you care?
You have time for that?
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
So, which is again, it's surreal and obviously super grateful that I'm in the position that I'm in.
Okay, what about this is actually maybe a selfish question because I'd like to know the answer to this. Being on the road and maintaining wellness. I don't know, did you ever see, am I going to bring it back to Taylor Swift? Yes, I am. Did you see the way she conditioned for her world tour?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you.
I'm not as much of a Swiftie as you are.
Okay, well let me help you out with this.
All right, okay.
So her fitness routine was she conditioned by singing and running to the pace of her songs for 3 hours a day. So it was basically she was training for like a marathon every single day, just so she had the stamina to maintain on stage. So like now there's this whole like Taylor Swift challenge that people are trying to do and like, whatever. But when you think about wellness on the road, how do you maintain wellness when we're in different cities, different gyms, everything changes every single week, but I know fitness is really important to you.
Yeah, so I would say just get the simple stuff right. I don't think it has to be, I don't think you have to overthink it. You try to keep your diet clean, try to get enough sleep. I don't even think, like when you're on the road, I think even getting into the gym like 2 or 3 times a week is enough. I think it's enough for your physical well-being. I think it's enough for your mental well-being as well. And then I'm a big proponent of like hot and cold therapy. So cold plunges, saunas.
I'm on team cold plunge as well.
Yeah. So I think those are really important, just to like, you know, as you get on the road and, you know, beds are different and you get little aches and pains, I think, you know, hopping into the cold plunge every other day just sort of keeps all that at bay a little bit.
Okay, so give us a little preview of this week, how you're feeling about your game. I know you said on Sunday, my game isn't maybe quite where I need it to be. I'm going to get back to work. You're coming again to play on a very difficult course. It can be very windy here. Top players in the world, like a lot of similarities to things that we talked about last week. Give us a little preview.
Yeah. So it feels, you know, I think I am my own worst critic. So I think to me, it feels further away than it probably is. You know, it's not as if I'm having these disastrous weeks. Like my bad weeks are like 20th place finishes. Right. So I think I need to cut myself some slack and just be patient and wait for the good stuff to happen. But yeah, it's, you know, when I feel like, you know, I want to be one of the best players in the world and I see what Scotty's doing, it's like, it's hard not to feel like you're falling behind and you want to push it. But I think for me, just making sure that I focus on myself, focus on what I need to do to produce some better golf is the important thing. But yeah, it's not far away. You know, there were some good signs last week, but you know, conditions were incredibly difficult, especially on that Friday last week. And you know, hoping for some, you know, a little bit of wind is fine here, but not as much wind as we got last week would be nice.
Last week was extremely dramatic when we that was unnecessary. We don't need another repeat of that. It does make me, so you're playing in New Orleans, right? Next week alongside Shane Lowry for the first time. Yeah. You get a walkout song. I'm just saying, for the Workday fans out there and Workday Sports, make sure you're following the Workday Sports account, by the way. Do you know what song you're going to pick? And if not, maybe we can take some suggestions.
I would love suggestions. Okay. Shane and my music taste is a little different.
Okay.
So I think he would be more on board with like a rock song. I would think. I'm happy to go with his suggestion, but I'm happy to take suggestions from people too.
Okay, you heard it. So make sure you're following at Workday Sports, at Rory McIlroy. And maybe if your suggestion is chosen, maybe we can give you a shout out. I don't know, I'm making up rules now. I actually don't know if we can do anything about it, but we will take all those suggestions. Rory, thank you so much for taking the time.
Pleasure. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys. See ya. We don't know how to log off here, so we're just going to hang out.
Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Thanks you for watching.